Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about all of the events from Wednesday, May 12th of 2021. You guys, it's Wednesday. I'm still recording. We have now officially made it further than we did last week with the new schedule, so that is exciting. We had a less busy day than we've had for most of the week, which is okay. And there aren't a whole lot of events to go super in depth on, but there are some. So just a little peek ahead. I did want to give you guys a little heads up. So I think what I'm gonna do, I do go ahead and record on Friday for the special Saturday episode. That'll cover like Friday events because the event that's coming up on Saturday, so Prince Christian's confirmation, I want to have kind of be like the focus of the event the episode that goes up on Monday. It may not be the only thing, but it'll be the big thing. And then I'm still deciding because there are 2 extremely big events happening on Monday. So I'm still deciding what I'm gonna do about those. One of them is going to get their own special episode. I'll tell you that much. I haven't decided which one yet, but like Norway's National Day is May 17th, and so is Queen Maxima's 50th birthday. So there's going to technically be 2 episodes that go up on Tuesday. I'm going to schedule them differently so they don't go up at the same time. But I'm going to record 2 episodes to go up. I'm thinking National Day will be kind of its own thing, and then hopefully there isn't much happening anywhere else on Monday, and like Queen Maxima's can be a pretty big thing that comes up on Tuesday as well, is my thinking right now. But it's still pretty early, but just like a little, hey, here's where my brain is at. Turns out not doing anything special this month, like just kind of keeping the status quo, isn't really in my wheelhouse, so I'm trying some different things. I'm working on some fun projects for the website. Lots of different things going on, but we'll see what all comes to fruition for sure. Also, I just sounded like such an influencer in that moment, and I don't ever want to sound like an influencer. Like, I've got a special project. I'm just deciding what's going to work and what's not. It's not really that special. So anyway, let's go ahead today and we'll start with the British royal family. In the UK today, there were a good number of events. So first thing, Queen Elizabeth today received or held virtual audiences with the new ambassadors from Romania and the Dominican Republic to the Court of St. James. And so this has been done the way she's been doing these for the past few weeks, a virtual audience where the new ambassadors come to Buckingham to lay their credentials on the table for a representative from like the foreign ministry. He's the Secretary of State for something. And then Queen Elizabeth is at Windsor on the computer watching and talking with the new ambassadors in their audience. So that was today. And then we'll look at the court circular here in a second too to see what else. I know it's Wednesday, so maybe an audience with Boris Johnson. But then also today was International Nursing Day. So the British royal family does a lot on International Nursing Day because they're all patrons of different nursing organizations. So today, the Duchess of Cornwall visited the Whittington NHS hospital, where she met with hospital staff, as well as the Roald Dahl charity, nurses. So the Roald Dahl charity is a charity that specializes in children's healthcare, and so these nurses specialize in helping children. And they're, from what I read, like the very little research I did, it seems like they're incredible. And so Camilla is patron for the Roald Dahl charity, and so she was there for that reason, and also just to visit a hospital on Nursing Day. And then she also planted a few roses in the garden at Whittington that were both named for the famous people that are recognized in the hospital. So Roald Dahl, and then someone else who was a big impact on Whittington. And so it represented the intersection between the two in a really cool way. So that was today. And then we talked about this in yesterday's episode, but that was also to celebrate International Nurses Day. So it's going to be the Prince of Wales' visit to St. Bartholomew's yesterday. And then he also wrote an article in the London Times. I haven't read it yet. I probably will, talking about nursing, International Nursing Week and International Nursing Day. But it was really interesting because on this day, like a year ago, well, literally a year ago, or on Nursing Day a year ago, was when like the first big collaboration event for the British royal family took place. And of course, you know, we were all in lockdown, and it was a video conference between like everyone and their different patronages. It was very cool. So I just like wanted to bring that back because it was such a cool thing. Okay. So then those were the things that had International Nursing Day. And then also today, the Duke of Cambridge visited the Metropolitan Police Station in, I believe it was in Croydon, where he paid tribute to Sergeant Ratana, who was shot and killed on duty last year. I believe it was a year ago today. So William was also able to use this time to discuss Mental Health Awareness Week, which it also is this week. I think those events are going to come out like Thursday and Friday from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the things that they're doing for Mental Health Awareness Week. And then also he got to meet Dexter the police dog, who actually focuses on like welfare and well-being support versus like a canine patrol unit dog. So I thought that was really, really cool. Of course, the tribute to an officer shot in the line of duty is not. That is horribly sad. And if you all want to know what it's like to be an American in this kind of world, that didn't even faze me. Like, obviously it's horrible, and I believe it's horrible, but it's so normal here that didn't really surprise me. Like, obviously it's had a huge effect on the British royal family and like the British people, but to me it was like, oh, okay, so it's just another day. Because I'm an American and we have a huge violence problem, and I'm in a city that is having a really big problem right now. Although we don't have that many police being killed because they tend to shoot first in my city. But still. Anyway, just so you all know, like, that probably sounds horrible if you're not from the States. To me, it was like, oh, okay, just another Wednesday then. So that is my cold-hearted admittance for the day. I have empathy, believe me, but it's just, I'm so used to it that it took me a minute to realize that this was different. Okay, so we are going to look at the court circular now. Sorry, you guys, I'm getting extremely tired. Usually when I do this and I'm tired, I like build up my energy, but it's just like going further and further down. Okay, so let's take a look at the court circular. So these are the two ambassadors, and then, so I was right. Boris Johnson had an audience with the Queen this evening via telephone. And then, sorry, this is the funniest sentence I've ever read. Moving on to Clarence House. So I'm just going to read this and then explain what it means. So the Prince of Wales this evening received the G7 Sherpas, who are representatives of the heads of state who will be attending the G7 summit. So the G7 summit is being held, I think it's in Glasgow this year. So it's being held in the UK. Or maybe it's in Cornwall. I don't really remember. But anyway, it's being held in the UK, so nothing has been confirmed, nothing has been announced. It has been announced that, like, I'm from the States, so my head of state, President Biden, will be going, but nothing from the royal side has been announced. So President Biden is going to both the G7 and also the NATO summit, and both of those typically have a royal component to them, but we'll see. Oh, can I just say I'm so glad I started this in 2020. Okay, and then we have the Duchess of Cornwall's event for the Whittington Hospital. And then we have the Duke of Cambridge's event in Croydon. And then also today, the Duchess of Cambridge held a meeting for the early years program that she's working with. So that is what was going on in the UK. So now we are going to make a jump to Denmark. In Denmark today, there was one event, and here goes my frustration, right? Like, it's not really a frustration. I've gotten used to it from Denmark, and I've learned different ways to work around it. But today, Crown Prince Frederik had an unannounced engagement where he visited the South Jutland Embassy in Copenhagen. So the Southern Jutland is, I believe it's a part of Denmark, but then the fact that it has an embassy has confused me. So I don't know if the embassy is from, like, when they were not unified. I genuinely don't know. Okay, it is. The Southern Jutland is in Denmark, but anyway, they have an embassy in Copenhagen. I think the Southern Jutland used to be part of Germany, or like it was part of Denmark, and then it was a part of Germany, and then 100 years ago, it was reunified with Denmark, I think. I don't really know. But anyway, so the embassy is currently holding a cultural festival to mark the 100th anniversary of reunification between the Southern Jutland and Denmark. And this has all kind of been part of, so this is like, I would say this is the official kickoff to the 100th anniversary celebrations that are being held a year late. Just so you all know, they were actually supposed to be held in 2020, but pandemic, so they were not, obviously. And so now it's being celebrated. So today was kind of like the kickoff. There will be some other different events that members of the royal family will participate in. There will be a huge celebration in the Southern Jutland that Queen Margrethe, Crown Prince Frederik, and I read at one point that Prince Christian was going to, it's not his first official engagement, but it'll be a pretty important one for him. Will be happening, I think, in July, maybe in June. But that'll be like a really big deal. But this is just kind of like the kickoff, like, okay, we're actually starting to celebrate this now. Which is, again, kind of like a sign of returning to normal, which I love so much. So that is what was going on in Denmark. I do want to take a peek to see if their calendar has updated. I like to know what's coming because then I kind of know what to prepare for in terms of like, okay, tomorrow, what's my work schedule, what's podcast happening. I just like to know these things kind of ahead of time if I can, so I can figure out what my day might look like. So I want to take a quick peek at the calendar. Okay, so it looks empty again. We'll see if that stays that way. So for that, we are done, and we are now going to go ahead and move to the Dutch Royal House. In the Netherlands today, we started off with a new aspect to receiving new ambassadors. So this was fun. So today, King Willem-Alexander virtually received the credentials of the new ambassadors from Mauritius, Haiti, Lesotho, and Singapore. And he had to do it virtually because these countries do not have embassies in the Netherlands. So I think they have multiple multiple postings. So I want to take a quick look to see. I'm just searching the Haiti ambassador to the Netherlands to see if they are maybe like the European Union or like the Netherlands, Belgium. I just forgot the name of Belgium. That's so sad. So there's a consulate of Haiti, but there isn't an embassy. So I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, this is not working for me. But anyway, they were in Brussels, so they delivered their credentials in person to the Dutch ambassador to Belgium, while King Willem-Alexander was on the computer presiding over the credential ceremony. It was very interesting. It was like a new, fun way to do this that I hadn't seen before. But then, you guys, this Queen Maxima's 50th birthday thing is turning out to be spectacular. So there's going to be an interview. I don't know when the interview is, and I don't speak Dutch, so I don't know a lot of details. But then tonight, the entire Dutch royal family, so King Willem-Alexander, Queen Maxima, the Princess of Orange, or Princess Amalia, the Princess Alexia, and Princess Ariane, as well as Princess Beatrix, who is King Willem-Alexander's mother and the former queen, attended a concert put on by, I believe, More Music in the Classroom in honor of Queen Maxima's 50th birthday. So that is going to be aired on Sunday. And I think the interview is also maybe on Sunday. There are new books. This is turning out to be way bigger than I expected, given that it's, in a pandemic. But obviously things are different. Like, they aren't big and spectacular and a lot of invitations. Like, there aren't a lot of guests, but things are going fantastically. Like, I didn't expect to see the girls again until like Christmas. Summer, I guess, but they were at the concert tonight, which means they'll be part of like the recording of the concert. So that was a really exciting little sneak peek. But because the concert is being aired on Sunday, no one really knows what happened inside, but like, love it so much. So that is what was going on in the Netherlands. We are going to skip Norway, although there was like a really cute video and some announcements made for May 17th. But like I said, I think that's going to be like maybe its own thing, or maybe Queen Maxima's birthday is going to be its own thing. I still haven't decided. But one of those two. So we'll talk more about Norway's National Day like on the day. But for now, we are going to go ahead and move on to the Spanish royal family. We are actually ending this episode with the Spanish royal family, so it's going to be a little bit of a shorter one, which is good because maybe I can go to bed early. Probably not. But anyway, so today King Felipe and Queen Letizia visited a city in Valencia to deliver the Miguel de Cervantes Prize for Spanish Literature of 2020 to the Spanish poet whose name is Francisco Brines. And so he is, like I said, he's a poet who has taught Spanish literature in Oxford and Cambridge universities. He is world renowned. He is considered one of the best poets in Spain. And he has sat on like the Royal Academy of the Spanish Royal Academy, I think is what it's called. But it's like a very intense education, or like very much like a cerebral decision making kind of really smart, educated people making really important, like having really important conversations. So he sat on that. And he just seems really amazing. So I like did a little research on him. Mostly though, I was trying to figure out why it was done this way. So typically the Cervantes Prize is delivered at a pretty solemn ceremony in, near Madrid. I don't think it's in Madrid. Like in the city of Madrid at least. But for the pandemic, it wasn't held there last year for the 2019 prize. And then this year it wasn't held there either. So part of that is the pandemic. However, not much of it is that, because Madrid specifically pretends the pandemic like doesn't affect a lot of things. In terms of like they allow people to gather pretty intensely. But now they're not in a state of alarm, so like whatever. But also it was held differently this year because Francisco Brines he's 90 and is not in the best health. He is actually like very much not in good health. He is a very frail old man. So he chose, or his family chose for him, to receive the prize at his home in Valencia. So King Felipe and Queen Letizia visited his home and held they presented him, it comes with like a collar, so like it's not a necklace, but it comes with like a collar, as well as the physical plate prize. So they had those like sitting on tables beside him. He was able to stay seated the whole time and just have a lovely conversation with Felipe and Letizia, and then his family who was present were able to join in, and like there were enough chairs, so they just had like a very casual meeting, which I think is important for his health. Like it was very low stress, it was very informal, all of that. It was really lovely because you don't always see the Spanish royal family, really any of these royal families doing something like this in a home. I mean, it's happened a few times, and I know, I know Queen Maxima did something last summer in homes of elderly Dutch people, but like pre-pandemic, this has really never happened, and so it's just lovely and very informal, versus like a traditional Cervantes prize is very formal and very very intense. So this was nice. I do miss the the Cervantes Award ceremony, but that's okay. So that's the end of Queen Letizia's week. Felipe's week is a little I don't know, his week is interesting. It's just like a couple more meetings really over the next couple of days. Yeah. So it'll be an interesting like couple of meetings, but yeah, he just has two things, one each day. So that is what's coming down the pike for Spain. Like I mentioned yesterday, Sweden's calendar is now officially empty until next Monday. So things are going to stay pretty quiet over there. So with that, we are going to end this episode. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Please go visit all the places. So thedailyroyal.com, the Daily Royal on Instagram. Like and review this podcast wherever you're listening. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. Bye.